What's up, everybody? Emceemur here. Little impromptu vid. We gotta get in here and we gotta take a look at these octagonal restrictor plates sent to us by Arcade1UP that are supposed to fix the controls on BurgerTime. Now, if you watch the original review, I was complaining about how bad I was at BurgerTime. I'm like, I know I ain't this bad. Okay, I wasn't. People were commenting in saying, no, it's the restrictor plates and the joystick movement's wrong, and they know about it. So they're going to send out parts. And I'm like, what? And they did. We got them. So, the last thing I want to do is more surgery on this. You know that. I had a rough time putting this thing together because I rushed through it. Even though it was my 5th one, it had to be the worst install I've done to date. But it's got to be done. We need this thing to play right. So, taking the knobs off, and no power tools this time. Learned my lesson. We busted the deck protector. That's another story for another day. Arcade1UP is supposed to send one of those too. I imagine that'll come later on, as these restrictor plates were probably part of a mass mailing out to everybody that ordered one of these machines. But anyway, getting down to it. Removing the screws, make sure that you unplug the deck from the wiring harness before you yank it out. And then we got to get up under this thing. We got to get in it. You got 6 Phillips head screws in the bottom of this thing to take the cover off. And again, no tools, no power tools, just a screwdriver. Learned my lesson on that already. And I want to be careful with this. So, not much to getting these things off. They can be a little persnickety, but you pretty much have these 4 plastic teeth in there holding the clear plate in place, and if you just push them in with your fingers, it'll pop right off. 2 at the time, it'll come right off, and then you're gonna get the replacement piece, and it's gonna fit right on the same way. But it's gonna kind of control what your joystick can do, and get everything back to hopefully normal on the BurgerTime front. I've never played so horribly on BurgerTime in my life, or never has it felt so weird. As soon as I get this thing on here, I can feel a difference in the way it's moving. And again, if these things are having trouble coming off, don't force it. I mean, the teeth on there can be a little bit stiff, and that's honestly a good thing. You want it to hold in place, but again, just go 2 at a time. Push in and just get it to release the pressure on there. I had a little trouble on one here and even just took the screwdriver and helped nudge the tooth off there without putting too much pressure. Don't want to break anything. And just like so. So not a lot of trouble. And again, the replacements will snap right on in place of it. And you want to ease those down too. Again, we don't want to break anything, but if you're gentle with it, it's nowhere near as bad as I was afraid it was going to be. I mean, honestly, I couldn't even picture in my mind what they were sending. I've never had one of these apart, but pretty easy surgery, thank goodness. You can already feel a difference in the way it's moving, and I turned this thing on the side here. I want you to get a look at the difference in the original plate. You've got this kind of rounded, cornered, square opening here. A lot of free movement, whereas this perfect octagon shape here is going to make sure that the directions are more precise in a game that obviously requires that. Be gentle when you put the cover back on. Make sure we don't pinch any wires in there. And other than that, that's really all there is to it as far as getting them on there. And then the deck's going to go right back on the way it came off. I would have liked to have had my replacement deck protector already. I really don't want to take this thing off again, but that's not a huge deal. Putting the knobs back on. But in taking the screws off again and then putting them back in, I confirmed how I had the problem the first time. It's this screw right here, dadgummit. The hole is off. It wasn't going in, and finally, you work with it, and ka-chunk, it finally goes in. But when it did, and I had the power drill, the weight from the drill, when it went down that hard, the head of the screw is actually what shattered the plastic and busted it there. So again, I shouldn't have been using the dadgum drill, but the hole wasn't lining up good either, and that was partially to blame. But yeah, getting in here and playing some Burger Time, I gotta tell you, this did make the difference. You know, I was dying 2 and 3 times on the first level testing this thing out, and I was like, man, I can't even use this footage. People are gonna call me a boo, man. You ain't ever played no Burger Time. You ain't about your hamburgers. Get on out. But now, man, you get this thing on here and ready to hammer on and jam, Chip. It's going down. And by going down, I mean lettuce, patties, buns. It's going down. It actually handles 100% better now. So good on ARCADE1UP for acknowledging this and just sending these parts out unprompted. I gotta say, that's pretty great. Again, I didn't want to do surgery on this thing, but yeah, I mean, it was actually totally worth it because now we got a playable Burger Time, which is definitely what I wanted. And now we can kind of work on some high scores the way God intended to in an arcade style format, or at least one reminiscent of one. So pretty cool. But again, hats off to 1UP for sending those out. That was cool of them. Hopefully we get the deck protector in too. Replace this one on here that was busted, and I can finally close the book on this story and just be glad we have a Burger Time that's in good shape and is working properly. Just wanted to drop a video and kind of go over all that in case anybody has these coming, hasn't got them yet, and has questions about what they're going to run into when they set out to do the work. Emceemur signing off for this impromptu extra episode, and I will see each and every one of you on the next one.